Hello. Welcome, math lovers. We are faced with one perfect Olympic question. Difficult one-number question. What did our question say to us?
xy,
zt, one positive integer.
xy,
He said that the sum of z and t is 63. And we have x times y plus y times z. Plus is times t wants the maximum value. Now I approach the question in a very different way. So what did I mean? Let's think about this statement. For example, side lengths. When we draw in the form of one rectangle with x and y, I can express it this way because one side is A and one side is B. This is how the area of the rectangle is located. Here you the same way. Extend it to z and again 1. If I convert it to rectangular format and write it this way, if we want to draw the other rectangle with this method, and then this, even if I lower it, we get a rectangle with a side t and a side z. If you rectangle after drawing the zt rectangle, I transform this geometric structure into a hole. If I do so, one will become a hole, and this expression will give us another rectangle. It was literally a rectangle. Here comes t, here comes x. Now look what we came across. 4 different rectangular output. Area of the rectangle formed here xy. Area of the rectangle formed here yz. Area of the rectangle formed here zt. And the area of the rectangle formed here is xt. If you notice, there is a large structure. Can you see this big rectangle now? What can I say about this? If we want to draw the big rectangle, when we look at the side length here, if I say A, and if I say B to the side length here, look what happened to me. Let's do this. A is equal to the sum of x and z, and if the expression we call B, so the sum of y and t is equal. Now what is my purpose here? X times z, a times z and z times t is the maximum. Finding the value you can get. Now I think then let's focus on the whole area. What happened to the areas of all rectangles here? Let's write these fields, x times y plus y times z plus z times t plus. And finally x times t. This large rectangle formed here, area will be equal to, so the area of the larger rectangle, A times B. If you pay attention, what was the part he wanted from us in the question? The part he wanted from the question was this part from us, the maximum value. Then I will send this friend to the other side immediately. In this case, my question will be what? Look, x times e plus e times z plus z times t. I could write it exactly like this. A times b minus x times t. I got the request part of the question. Now I need to make some comments from now on. So what do I mean? I want this statement to be as big as possible. Then here, what should x times t be as much as possible? Should be small, do not affect this value, and I have to pick this expression as big as possible. Will occur here. As a result, this number should be as large as possible. Now I think, what can I do from now on? Let's use the information given in the question. He gave us x and t as what? X gave y and zt as positive integers. In this case, if I think about it a little bit, I can choose x and t as 1. The question did not say different for these numbers. 1 by 1 I choose, so what do I mean? X and y here is positive as 1 integer. Will I choose? I choose as 1. 1 times 1 is too small. And we have this part 1. What will a times b be? Let's write the question again. I express it this way to understand. So what did our question turn into? Of course, if you want to think about a and b in this part, x times y plus e times z plus z times t is equal to a times the form b minus 1. Look, if we repeat it again, what did I do here? These, I thought they were fields of rectangles. Side by side from the sides that are common, I built the rectangles again. And I came across one large rectangle. Then I am from the area of this great quadrilateral. When I remove the part formed here, I can actually find the part of the problem he wants from me. If we continue now, what were the expressions? I said A and B. Let them think the question depends entirely on these statements. Now the statements I say A and B. What should I do as much as possible? I have to choose big. These are the statements I said A and B. If I want to write better, so the expression we call a plus b, or if we go to the expression we call a plus b, we can switch from here to multiples. So if we think about x plus z plus y plus t, the expression we call what was originally given to us If you pay attention, it was given as 63. So what happened to the expression I call x plus z here? We stated that what happened to our expression here? Happened. What did I find now? Look at the expression I said a times b. A plus b is equal to 63. Let's fix it like this, we wrote it wrong. I found that the expression I call a plus b is 63. Look at this part. This place will be plus a plus b 63, then these. What do I have to do for the multiplication to be the largest? I need to pick a and b as close together as possible. If I choose close, if I multiply, the value will be the largest. If I divide 63 by 2, what will come from here? 31.5 here too. But if you pay attention, a and b, which numbers were the sum of x, y? This depends on t, what x? What were the things I said y, z, t? As I said at the beginning, they are positive integers. When I add two positive integers, I come across, is there a chance of 1 decimal point? No such situation, promise? Not the subject. Then I can't take these situations into account. Now if you pay attention, the number here is one odd number. I can get single numbers whoever I add, single or double, double or single. Then definitely a or b of one of the single. One of them should be a couple. If I can't choose them that way, what can I choose in this case? This 31. If I get 32, this too, if you pay attention. When I collected it, I reached the result of 63 again. That's how I could choose these numbers. Then what did my result become? Look, be careful. This was the expression we called AB. So I multiply 31 by 32. What will come before me? I got the number 992. Take this 2, and in the equation here, if we write instead, so x times y plus y times z plus, my expression I say z times t. What was it equal to? The 992 minus 1, hence the result of 991. We have achieved, look again. If we repeat the question from the beginning, the question is very nice. It's an extremely difficult question. I solved it with a very different method. If you pay attention, what did I do here? I turned them into rectangles, and I came across rectangles with 3 different areas. Guys, when I complete this part, I got one bigger rectangle. Then I thought, from this big rectangle, when I take out the little one there, I will have the question he asked me. If you pay attention to the question later, what did I do? X and t 1. I chose 1, cause to make it as small as possible. To make it as big as possible, I worked and continued like this. And he told me what the sum of a plus b is. He said he was 63. To make them as large as possible, we need to choose close to each other, because a and b are integers. Sums will never be decimal numbers. In this case, I chose them as consecutive numbers, and I got the answer from here. Thank you for listening to me. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. See you, bye-bye, stay tuned.